how can we ensure that these people who find so much joy at the private sector, what would make them come to government and engage the government? Otherwise, it will be just a minority, those maybe retirees who are bored. How do you ensure it's a genuine, the message that is representative and facing a challenge with the private sector that is glamour and fun?
Well, frankly, what we've done in the Philippines, especially, we tried to set up an online fora. I handled the online fora for the president in 2002 to 2004. And frankly, we didn't know how to handle it. We actually asked the private sector group to run it for us. And we told them, if you have anything that you can't answer, then you come back to us.
They outsource it.
We outsource it.
Well done.
I think I'll answer based on my observations of the YGENs, having seen a lot of them. And this one in particular, because I just came back from teaching in China, and I was really, really touched by something I witnessed. A couple of YGEN students, they went off travel to Kunming in Yunnan to help basically abandoned women and children with AIDS. And they're not allowed, these people are not integrated back into society. So these 3 students went to travel and hooked up with them, and they formed their own NGO and brought it back to Fudan and put on plays and created blog sites and all that to rally the community around them to not to donate, because they don't want donation. They want to do social entrepreneurship, which means they want to enable the needy, if you will, to find a way to make their living. So they don't want charity, or they don't want to enable charity. They want to enable self-empowerment. And I think that's one way you can engage with the young. They are very active in terms of believing in social causes, whatever it is, environmental poverty, hunger, And I think actually the young is far ahead of us in our generation. For whatever reason, we're too old, too busy, too whatever. And so for us, when we want to do good and fight evil, we donate money, write a check. That's what we do, right? Okay. But the young people, they're different. Well, first of all, they don't have the money to donate. Having said that, they know how to use the power of community to bring about attention into the causes they believe in. So if you understand that and figure out how to engage with them at that level, and I think you will be successful. That's my advice.
Since I'm from REACH, which is the Government Feedback Unit, I will speak from a government perspective. I think for REACH per se, I think what's crucial is sincerity, and to the mindset, or to let the netizen know that you are actually willing to engage and willing to come up with new things. So let's say, for example, I share with you that we had this talk of us that we introduced in September 2008. At first, it was just a normal write-up. We talked about, like, for example, what was the feedback on the ground, and then what was the response by the ministry. And then subsequently, we realized that, hey, this is just a write-up. Maybe the netizen would like to comment on this response. They may disagree with the response by the ministry. So we actually enable a comment box. And then from there, you see so much comments coming in. So I guess these are little things that shows the netizens that you really care and you really want to know what's their thinking. And also, like, some of the encouraging signs that I could share is that we have letters coming in, and some of them will really go way off course, and they started to use vulgar languages. And some members will say, hey, this is a forum, where we wanted constructive feedback, if you have no business here, and if you really want to just disrupt the forum, please get out here, And so we don't even have to police the forum. It's netters who police for us. And why do they do that? That's because they see REACH, or we like to think that they see REACH as a credible online forum, and that's why they're helping us. So I guess it's true, little things that you do, it's not a big bang. I can't issue a press release and say that, REACH did this and REACH did that. It's the small things that nobody will notice, but netizens themselves will engage. They will notice this kind of little things, yeah. So I guess that's my reply.
And I guess my one is an example from my experience is one of our agencies, the Government Accountability Office, which is an oversight agency, which is not the cool department. It's the accountants and the kind of boring. they basically rebranded, and they created a 2-year program for people right out of undergrad and made it extremely competitive. And they were allowed to 4 different rotations in 4 different parts of the agencies. And they just said, this is the top place to work in government. You know, we're looking for the smartest people. It's really hard to get into. They went out to all the top schools, and it worked. So, you know, 5 years later, they have all this great talent, and it's seen as the elite place to work. And their satisfaction of best places to work is actually at the top. So, they, you know, the same type of work they've always done, but all of a sudden they said, our work is meaningful, the mission, and then they said, we want the best. So instead of being the government saying, well, we'll take anyone, they said, we don't want anyone, we only want the best. And they got it in the end. So it was a really good kind of branding exercise they did.
So I actually hired a very young person, totally from non-IT, and with the intention to bring some new media activities into ISS. So when I was interviewing her, she was actually from sales in telecommunication company. And she was using something very interesting approach in the private sector. They actually, in their company, before she joined me, they were actually promoting selling telephone gadgets. It could be phone, cell phone, new cell phone, and so on. And the way they did it was very simple and very ethical. They identify about 5 leading bloggers. These are the bloggers, very attractive. People love to go into their website, and give them the cell phone, and without any string attached. You just say anything you like, good and bad, you know, no money, no transaction. The only transaction was you can keep that phone. But just talk about it, good or bad. And in doing so, they actually planted the seed for a community conversation on that, and they improved their cell phone. Now, I'm just wondering whether one could borrow that concept in the workplace, very similar to you folks at Paul and Steve was talking. If you really is a good place to work for, among the youngsters, if they allow them to do blogging, they would tell the world how good is that place. So that may be something to think about.